this is Sam here from kitchengadgetsclub.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today, I want to talk to you about something different. I've been asked a lot recently what my opinion is on Gousto, especially considering that I've found very few recipes that actually convert to the kitchen gadgets, so the air fryer, slow cooker, Ninja Foodie and such like, which is such a shame. But what I did, this was a few months ago now, is I went and got myself a box. My friend already had a box and she was regularly doing it, and I thought I'll try it out and see what the fuss is about. So the kids made me some delicious chicken goujons. I had a curry or two that I'd converted to the kitchen gadgets and whatnot. And then, like most people that have signed up for Gousto, the price goes up. So you get this brilliant introductory price and then it goes up. And now from feedback from other people, it seems that what a lot of people are doing is they're going in on the special offer, cancelling after that first month and then waiting until they get another good deal. So I can understand why people do that with the cost of living. My friend, what she's actually doing now is she's kept the recipe cards that she got with it and she's just buying the ingredients from Asda and enjoying her favourite recipes that she did. But what else do I think of Gousto, you may be wondering? You know, I think the biggest thing for me is I would say I'm a lazy cook during the week when I've got loads and loads of things to do. When I'm not finishing work till 6 o'clock on a night, I don't want to try a brand new recipe every night. You know, it's just too much. I would rather grab something from the freezer that I've previously made, throw it in the air fryer or the microwave, and then I've got dinner on the table. And I think that's what puts me off with it the most, because I'm all into it on the weekend and then the week kind of comes and I kind of lose my flow with it. But it has been great with the kids. But one of the biggest problems that we all seem to have with it is we always end up with the surplus. We end up grabbing our oregano jar out of our cupboard rather than the little sachet that comes with it, and we end up with loads. I mean, these are what my friend actually has left over. These are little dried herb sachets, and they are a brilliant idea. You know, you get each of your herbs in these little packs and they're just great. And then I also have loads of her recipe cards left over as well. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to do something completely different. Instead of actually using the Gousto recipe cards, I want to use this opportunity for those people like me that have kind of given Gousto a try, but now it's got expensive, so they've ended up with all these little dried herbs and leftovers. I've also got a few bits of leftover meat as well. So I've got 2 packs of the minced beef, or as you call it in the US, ground beef. I've got 2 little packs of the chicken portions. Ignore the dates because these have been put in the freezer so that I could save them for a time when I wanted to show you them on video. And then we've also got the little diced beef as well, and I thought it would be great fun to use those. Use all these little herb packs and things that we've got going on and turn it into some meals. So I'm going to be showing you now 3 different things I've made from the leftovers that we've got left over, because, you know, when it's come to those times when you have signed up for Gousto and you thought to yourself, I can't be bothered cooking another meal that I've not made again today after a long day at work. So this is going to be your solution. So we're going to start with one of the dried oreganos. It says on the size of it it's a 1 teaspoon. So let's find another one, shall we? That we can use in this. Ah yes, there's another dried oregano. Scissors are the easiest to get into these. And then those aside. Some chili flakes. And then I've also got some ground cumin. Ground coriander. I've got some more chili flakes. Oh, I love the colour from the dried chili flakes. And then what else have I got left? Let's add in some dried basil as well. Another dried basil. And then we've got a ground cumin. And then that leaves us just with some oregano and some dried chili flakes, which I'm sure we can find a good use for. So now you've got all that, and look at that. It's amazing how many packets that has actually taken up. So now let's give that a quick stir. You've got a DIY taco seasoning that you can now use on your other taco recipes, and then it's just ready to go. You can add mayonnaise to this if you want a saucier version. You can add in some avocado to it, an avocado creamer. No matter what you want, you can use this as your base, and then you've got rid of all these different sachets. You can also use this on some chips in the air fryer as well. It's just totally up to you how you use it. And then you want to break it up as you add it. And then grab your other one. In it pops. So then load up the salsa into your Instant Pot. And then you'll find that you've got a bit of surplus in the bottom. So what we're going to do now is going to fill that with water. Once you've filled it with water, put the lid back on. Give it a good shake. And then we're going to add this in. And then you can use your hands or you could use a spoon, whatever you prefer. So first of all, press cancel. And then what you want to do is you want to release any remaining pressure. So we're going to start by salt and pepper. I'm just going to add in some more here. And then you can also add in a bit more salsa. So then stir it all in. And then I'm using a silicone spatula here and just poke the meat, and you'll be amazed how quickly it turns into pull apart meat for you. So there's a lot of sauce here because the sauce is brilliant for using in your tacos and for future stock. That's how pull apart it actually goes. A little bowl with a sieve. So what I tend to do is I tend to grab one of those and then just pour it all in and then just let it strain. Look at that. It's just perfect for that as well. So let's move everything to one side, shall we? And then you want to start by getting out your container, giving it a good splash with some olive oil. So you can go with a standard tablespoon. And then add in your garlic and your ginger. Grab out your ginger. And then you can start mixing it. And there you have it. That is your marinade. So 4 small chicken breasts, or you can use 2 large if you prefer. We're going to add a seasoning of salt and pepper. And this is what the chicken looks like so far. So now let's get the hands dirty and let's coat that chicken. And then carefully place them in. And then we can get them cooking. They are small chicken breasts. We're going to start them off at 180 Celsius, 360 Fahrenheit, 15 minutes, and then we can come back and check on them. So this is what the chicken looks like. And yes, that is a Bubba Gump chopping board that I got when I went over there. I love the size of these chicken breasts as well, apart from that last one. I mean, what happened there? So for this chicken breast, however you want, really. There you have it, that's chicken for tacos. I mean, oh, doesn't that chicken look amazing? Serious about learning how to use the Ninja Speedy, then can I recommend our new multi-cooker time and temp chart. It's brand new, it's on pre-order now, and it's under a £5, and it has lots and lots of different cooking times based on the different settings. From steam air fry to when to air fry, grill, steam, and so many others. It will really get you started with using your Speedy and understanding how long to cook your food for. And now, back to the video. What I have got here is I've got some packs of mince. So we're going to start by turning it on, putting it on saute. So we've got 2 packs of mince here. And the saute is already making a noise. So I'm just going to grab a wooden spoon and we can start breaking it down. So the mince is in. I'm going to add in some extra virgin olive oil, salt, pepper, and I'm just going to leave it sat there a couple of minutes while it finishes off browning. And this is what the meat looks like now. So then once you're ready, add in your salsa. Oh wow, I just have to stir that again and just show you how amazing it looks. Load your butternut squash into it. And then salt, pepper, and of course extra virgin olive oil. And then what you can also do is you can add some garlic if you want as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of garlic puree to this as well. And then you want to give it a good stir. Load in the butternut squash, spread it out, and then pop it on. And you're looking for 190 Celsius, 360 Fahrenheit, and a cook time of 15 minutes. And then press start. And wow, look at that. Well, I always get one of these, and they're brilliant because you get the cheese dip, you get your avocado or your guacamole, you get your sour cream, and you get your salsa. And it's a great way to save because you're not buying all these individual dips each time you have a taco night. So yeah, grab yourself a bowl or two, depending on what you want to do with it. And then, for example, if you're having some chicken tacos, you can add some chicken into your bowl, strip it up a bit, and then once you've done that, grab yourself a spoon. And then what you can do is you can grab yourself some of your sour cream, and you've got a lovely, lovely filling there for your tacos. It's just an easy way of doing it, and that's what I often do, is to grab some of your taco meat and then mix it with some salsa. And again, you've added a bit of creaminess to your mince, and it's just brilliant like this. So that's another idea. So add in some lettuce to the bottom there. So you've got your lettuce layer. So now you can build it up with other ingredients. So I've got some mince or ground beef taco meat here that I've already made. So this can go to this side. And then it's totally up to you what other ingredients you add to your taco bowls. I've also cooked some butternut squash, and Dom has chopped some avocado as well. So we can add the butternut squash to the plates as well. Oh, and you can swap the butternut squash for sweet potato if you prefer. Or if you're making them during the winter months, you can actually use pumpkin if you prefer. And then add in the avocado. There, so we've got quite a few ingredients going on already. And then of course you can spoon in your dips and your sauteed. So I've got some guacamole, and then after the guacamole you can add in some salsa. Oh, and isn't it starting to look pretty with all those different ingredients going on? And then last but not least, we can add in the cheese sauce element, or cheese dip, depending on what you want to call it. And then that's just a great use of the dips. Then you can finish it off with coriander leaf, or if you live in the US, you might call it cilantro. And there you have it. That is a really, really easy way to make yourself a taco bowl. I haven't got that many different ingredients going in here because I think this is just brilliant. So we've done 3 different types of tacos. So shall we bring them all together for you and show you the meat and everything, and how you could kind of bring it together if you wanted to. So to start with, I've got butternut squash and some avocado. I've got the ground beef version or the minced beef, depending whether or not you live in the UK or the US. I've got some fresh coriander. I've got some lettuce ready to load into the tacos just to add a bit of healthiness. we've got the chicken version of the tacos. And of course, we've got the beef version. Remember, all this is mainly using up stuff that we already had in. And then, of course, we've got to have the wraps. And then what I've done, which I always buy when I'm doing tacos, turn them upside down like that so the wrap's not going to come apart. And then you can rinse and repeat depending on which leftovers you've got. You can do the same with fish tacos, whichever you've got. And then wrap them up like that, and they're just brilliant for throwing into the air fryer. And then load up the salsa over the wraps. You can add in some grated cheese as well. Then once you've added your cheese, pop them on. So, shall we check on these leftover tacos and see how they're doing? Oh wow, look at that. Doesn't that look fantastic? And then of course, finish with some finely chopped coriander or cilantro. So, oh, look at them. Don't they look fantastic? Thanks so much for watching our YouTube video. It feels so amazing that you've stuck around to the end. And of course, that must mean that you like our videos. So why not also follow us on social media? You can find us at the Kitchen Gadgets Club on Facebook and on Pinterest, TikTok. We're Kitchen Gadgets Club. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos like this one. And you can also find us at kitchengadgetsclub.com, where we have a membership that shares brand new kitchen gadget recipes every week. And we also have lots of great ideas, resources, tips and tricks. And we are an ovenless kitchen, so we teach you exclusively how to cook with kitchen gadgets. And a ciao for now.